Okay, I'm just going to write a basic function and show some of the different aspects to it. So I've got this damageable class, and the idea is I want to be able to add this to an object to make it able to take damage. So it's got a health value, it's got 100 health, and it's going to need a damage function. Now this needs to be a public function because the reality is that other scripts are going to be damaging this object. It doesn't really need to return any data, so it's going to be void, meaning that it doesn't return anything. And I'm going to call it take damage. Then in parentheses, I'm going to create the parameter that this is going to take. So it's going to take a float parameter, and it's going to be the damage amount. Then I'm in the body of the function, in between the brackets, and all I'm going to do is decrement. I'm going to subtract the damage amount from the health. And then I'm going to check while I'm here if health is less than 0. Object is destroyed. So I could just put that in there for now, or I could game object destroy. Oh no, I don't think I do it like that actually. Destroy, yeah, there we go, game object. There we go, very basic function. Now to call this, I literally just need a different script. Now typically you might, in this case, say if it's an object that's going to knock into another object and that's how it damages it, you could use, say, I believe it is the on collision enter function, which provides a collision variable when it happens. And this is one of Unity's built-in functions that is called when something happens. So you've got your event messages that happen throughout the different stages of a frame, things like start or update or fixed update, late update, things like that. And then you've got other event messages that will still happen during a frame at a certain point, but only when certain conditions are met, such as if an object with a rigid body collides with another object, then this gets called. So in this case, this is where you'd both get a reference to the object you're going to damage and call the damage function on it. So in this case, you can use the collision dot collider reference dot game object. So that gives you a reference to the game object. So we can set that to hit object equals. So now for this whole function, we've got a reference to the object that was hit. Then you can try and see if it's damageable. So if hit object dot try get component out damageable, and then you need to give the reference a name if it does exist. So what is this function doing? So try_get_component returns a true or false. It returns a Boolean type. That is its return type. That is why you can place it inside of an if condition, because it returns true or false. If it returns true, meaning that it did get the component, then this block of code is executed. If it doesn't, then it's not. What this means is that you can use the damageable reference that you set up in the code block safely, knowing that it will exist because it found it. Now, you can only have one return type on a function. So that is why the return type is bool, but the out keyword is used to pass extra information back. Now, what this does is it passes back the type of component you want to find, in which case, damageable component, and then you name the reference to it in case you actually want to use it. So what I can do is, if this component exists, damageable, take damage. pass in a damage amount, let's say 50. And there we go. Now, if I wanted to use multiple methods, multiple functions to achieve the same thing, but say do it in different ways, I could overload the take damage function. And that works by creating a second function with the same name. What's important, however, is that it has a different parameter signature. In this case, no parameters. So instead of passing in the amount of damage you want to do, you could say float default damage equals 50. And then I'm just going to call the other function, take damage, and then pass in default damage. And then I only need to do this once, but I can have an alternate version of the function that works in a slightly different way. Now, you'll see this a lot with Unity's built-in functions, and when you write them yourself, when you come to call that function, so if I start typing take damage and open parentheses, you can see that there are two methods here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit escape to get off of the autocomplete. I can use up and down just to cycle through them. So the first version doesn't take any parameters. The second version takes a parameter of a damage amount. And you'll see this with Unity's built-in functions, particularly some of the physics functions, which add more and more parameters to allow you to do different things, that you'll be able to cycle through and see what versions of them you can trigger and what different types of information you can pass in.